Hello again, and welcome to all the curious minds interested in the intersection between new technologies and education. It's Miguel Fernandez from SciCo here with you on the microphone. As you know, in this podcast series, we dive into topics related to the augMENTOR project. For those joining us for the first time, augMENTOR is a creative initiative funded by the Horizon Europe Research Program, aiming to build a pedagogical framework enhanced by AI technologies. Today, in episode 4, I'm thrilled to introduce our guest, Dimitris Charalampakis. Dimitris is a technology innovation consultant and a member of Novelcore, one of the key partners in the augMENTOR consortium, alongside SciCo. Hello, Dimitris. Welcome to the podcast. And how are you feeling
Hello,
about today's?
Miguel. Hello, Miguel. Thanks to meet you. Thanks for this invitation. I'm really delighted to be with you today in order to discuss about augMENTOR project, Novelcore as a software house and AI expert in educational technologies, and discuss in more detail about augMENTOR project, the evolution of the project the last 2 years, what is the role of mine in the consortium as well as of Novelcore's
Mm-hmm.
in this Horizon Europe innovation project, research and innovation project. So I'm yours
Okay,
for the.
perfect. Okay, thank you for your willingness to be here, Dimitris, and to be in this interview. So first of all, for the people that don't know you, could you share a bit about your academic background to help us kind of identify you?
Yes, of course. I'm a graduate from the University of the Aegean in Chios Island. So my background is on business administration and management and some economics. Then I had a master degree in tourism management from the Open University, and I was also a PhD graduate in University of the Aegean in financial management engineering in University of the Aegean under Professor George Dounias, who is an
Hmm.
expert in artificial intelligence from the mid of 90s. So I was let's say, involved in domains that has to do with mostly financial engineering and business management in conjunction with intelligence methodologies and techniques from the very beginning, from starting from 2005. So I have been collaborating in R&D projects, national in Greece, but also pan-European projects, mostly co-funding from European Commission and European Union's bodies. So my experience is from 2007 up to now, mostly have to do with innovation management and project management of complex R&D projects. And mostly the technologies I have been dealing with has to do with artificial intelligence, with development of complex IT systems that provide solutions in various domains like as tourism, security, education,
Okay.
agri-food, some experience with biomedical and biostatistics. So I have been seeing technologies being applied in various domains and in various markets, mostly in European dimension, for close to 20 years up to now.
Wow. Okay. So in the end, you have a really diverse background because you started with the business, then with the tourism, and in the end, you are now like the innovation manager. It's really interesting, and I would like to know how did you end up working with artificial intelligence? Was this something that you were expecting to do because you really like these technologies, or just an opportunity came and then you saw the opportunity and you like spontaneously started working with it without really knowing it?
Yes, when you graduate from a business school, you have a plethora of alternatives and options in the
Hmm.
marketplace. Okay, my specification initially was on finance and accounting. However, I didn't like a lot so much quantitative analysis. Okay, I have a good background in pure statistics as well. So I started my professional career having an internship in through ISEC. ISEC is a well-known student NGO that is being inaugurated in 1948 in seven Central Europe countries after the Second World War. Now ISEC is in more than 90 countries, representing business schools and economic departments all around the world. And ISEC gave me the opportunity and to be a volunteer in the local community of the University of the Aegean and to participate in national, international congresses around the world, but also gave me the opportunity to have a very interesting and exciting 1 year in Basel in Switzerland to have my first internship over there in Syngenta.
Hmm.
Syngenta is the world leader in seeds and crops industry. So my first professional experience was in a multinational environment. The headquarters of Syngenta are in Basel with 7,000 around employees only in administration. And I was in the product reporting, a financial services department that days back to 2002 and 2003. And was really a very strong experience because it was my first time traveling abroad, working abroad. It gave me an experience of working in a multicultural environment. I
Hmm.
was in a team of 10 people coming from 10 different nations all around the world, from Asia, from Latin America, from Europe, of course. Um, then after that, I went back to Greece. My first Greek experience was also in a multinational company, an American insurance company. That time was Alico. So I became let's say, an insurance and investor broker. I had to go through some exams
Okay.
from the Bank of Greece. From that 1 year I was in the insurance company, I got a very good training in negotiations, in selling skills, given that insurance products is quite difficult to be sold, given that they are promising a safeguard net in difficulties in life, either for life protection or accidents. And after that, I had the luck, one of my friends and classmates from the university, to start a commercial venture on e-tourism, electronic tourism,
Hmm.
back to 2005 and 6, pamediakopes.gr, which eventually became one of the leading online travel agencies in Europe. So I was in this startup environment back to 2005 and 2006, working with, as you understand, with the first, let's say, stream of web technologies at that
Yeah.
time. 20 years ago, you can imagine how was technology at that time
Yeah.
without Google. And it was interesting because it was a mixture between traditional tourism and new ventures of using web technologies for online booking.
Okay. So you've been seeing how the technology has changed along these years, and I think like you've been under the wave of the innovation. So it's really nice that you've been in so many international projects. And now again, we're in another international project that in this case is the augMENTOR project. So I would like to know how did you finally got involved in the augMENTOR project and what motivated you to be here?
Yeah, continuing my story, my, let's say, CV, I had an invitation from my professor at that time, University of the Aegean, Yorgos Dounias, to start collaborating for a national R&D proposal, which has to do with applying intelligent methodologies for evaluating business plans of small, medium enterprises in Greece. So that was my first professional experience with research and development teams of a Greek IT market.
Hmm.
And through this proposal, which eventually became a project, I got a professional proposal from Metis Consulting Company, which was a boutique project innovation management consultancy based in Athens. And so I moved from a Pamela Diakopes startup environment to another SME called Metis in 2007, from where I started my career as a project innovation management consultant, dealing with national and EC-funded R&D projects. At the beginning in the educational sector, with a series of very successful projects on serious games and on vocational training and deployment of soft competencies, mostly on human resources training.
Hmm.
At that time, I had for 6, 7 years a very close collaboration with Professor Albert Anker, who he has been running a Center of Advanced Learning Technologies, an R&D lab of INSEAD, the leading business school in Fontainebleau, France. So that was my first experience out of 5 projects. That time was FP6 and FP7 framework programs from European Commission. And I was very lucky to be in such wonderful team of ed tech experts all around Europe, and having as pilot cases big companies like IKEA, like Fiat and Ferrari, as well as the Scottish government, the Athens International Airport, partners coming from different backgrounds and markets. And I had my first experience trying to connect high-end and cutting-edge educational technologies with the enhancement and development of competencies, mostly soft competencies like negotiation skills, crisis management, leadership, in diverse entrepreneurial environments. I was in Metis for close to 10 years, collaborating and managing diverse R&D projects in various domains. And after that, I became a freelancer for several years, having my own customers, mostly from Greece. I was an external consultant for Pame Diakopes. So I was back to my first Greek company. And Πάμε διακοπές, I ran and I supported them to get funding on national and international European, again, R&D projects on e-tourism. So, for example, we had that time one of my successful projects I had envisioned, set up and managed was SME eCompass, which was a set of tools for SMEs all around Europe. In order, most of them was, the target group was e-shops and on e-commerce and e-tourism, in order to provide them with valuable tools for safeguarding the security of electronic transactions. That was one tool, getting out of SME Compass. And another tool was a set of tools for managing successfully online sales and do some data crawling on competitive product pricing. This tool was being developed mostly from Fraunhofer IAO based in Stuttgart, Germany. Also, another project, a Greek one, funded by the General Secretariat of R&D in Greece, was Meandros, was for forecasting the prices of flight tickets, so that Πάμε Διακοπές could advise their visitors, their customers, when to buy an airline ticket based on these prediction methodologies, which has been done with genetic algorithms. So for me, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining, all these knowledge management techniques based on deep technologies with intelligence is something I have been dealing with from 2007, as well as in my academic interests, but also in R&D projects. From the end of 2022, I got to know Novelcore, which was also a startup funded in Patras from Dimitris Charalampakis and Yorgos Domalis. So I was the first project manager to be collaborating with Novelcore, given that Novelcore had a very strong bidding team for Horizon projects. And this small team started getting bigger from beginning of 2023, with at the beginning with 5 R&D projects that were applying Novelcore's core competence, which has to do with technologies, have to do mostly with knowledge management, like knowledge graphs, like natural language processing, large LLMs, large language models, and machine learning pipelines. And Novelcore has a variety of projects that the technologies have been deployed and applied in various domains, like biomedicine, security mostly has to do with counter-terrorism, education as augMENTOR, e-democracy, deliberation for civil society. And, by the time you have a very good engineers on machine learning and artificial intelligence, and by the time there is such a plethora of data around the market, you can apply your technologies and try to develop innovations that could eventually become strong products that can support organizations and citizens and businesses.
Okay, okay, so that's how you got into Novelcore and how Novelcore really suits the mentor project, and they can really like adapt and gather there. So now that you have talked about these knowledge graphs, learning, machine learning algorithms, and all this technical stuff, it will be really useful, I think, for all the listeners and for all the people that want to know more about Augmentor, because we're constantly making diffusion about Augmentor, but we are never getting to the technical side, maybe because we don't have the proper knowledge to do it. So that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, Dimitris, because I think it would be really useful for us if you could explain us in easy language and manners, the technical part of the augmenter side, and also how it has been developed since it started, which is a really
Of course,
difficult thing
yeah,
to do, I
of
think.
course, Miguel. Yeah, augMENTOR is a very interesting project given that applies cutting-edge technologies coming mostly from machine learning as well as from XAI, explainable artificial intelligence. So these kind of techniques have been tailor-made and designed on educational data coming from big, let's say, from big data and learning management systems or MOOCs. So this has to do with tech-driven domain of EdTech, educational technology, AI in education, the so-called AID, and also learning analytics. Learning analytics are quantitative methods for analyzing a learning framework. And so a third pillar is the pedagogical framework that
Hmm.
our academic and pedagogical partners from augMENTOR are bringing within the project. And this is based on a methodology called TPAC. I think that Andromachi has said more on this, that
Yeah.
it's her expertise. So in augMENTOR, we are having three, let's say, main environments, backgrounds that we are trying to mingle and develop innovation. The one is the pedagogical environment, our pilots, which are representing different educational levels coming from primary schools to high schools to academic environment, universities, as well as from vocational training businesses. We are having the educational partners, we're having the pedagogical academic experts, and we're having the technological experts, which is Unisystems, Novelcore, and Mission X that are developing the augMENTOR solution. So according to the work plan, the first cornerstone of this technological dimension is to, first of all, to identify, collect, analyze, and refine also and enrich the data.
Hmm.
So the data is coming from LMSs, learning management systems. 3 out of the 4 pilots are using the well-known leader of LMS, Moodle.
Okay.
And a fourth partner, the Kaunas Technological University, they are using a smaller LMS called TryHackMe
That
that
basically,
right.
yes, sir. The learning management systems are just like softwares where students can do tasks, and I think you have the records and the results, and then you can really try to check and investigate the output, no, that the students get.
Yeah, LMS or MOOCs are e-learning platforms
Hmm.
using cutting-edge technologies. So it's like having a digital classroom where the user, the learner, can interact with the educational content, interact with her peers, as well as with the educator.
Okay.
So augMENTOR comes on top of the LMS, given that can use, collect, analyze, and provide, in our case, recommendations and explanations to specific queries that the educator and the learner are posing to augMENTOR solution on the learner's performance, on learning analytics, and the system, apart from a reply to the query, also presents to the user an explanation why the system, augMENTOR solution, came out with this reply. It's something like a chat between human interaction and with machine.
Okay, like a
In
chatbot,
our
right?
case, yeah, human is the educator or the learner, and the machine is the augmented solution, which is using intelligent methodologies, mostly machine learning pipelines, XAI, and some GPT models.
Okay, like natural language processing. And okay, so that's basically the basis. Like it's kind of an extension of this learning management system, and the augmenter will kind of analyze the output of the results of the students and the learners, and will give some advice on how to improve the
Mhm.
educational
Yeah,
curricula. Or,
yeah, the competence of augmented solution is that all this analysis is being strengthened by a very concrete pedagogical framework. So we're using, as an outcome of our augmented project, a tailor-made pedagogical framework, the TED-PAC,
hmm,
that comes out from Work Package 3 and Work Package 4, that presents, for example, some features like utilizing the 21st century skills, which is a milestone for European Union pedagogy, in order to enforce and educate students on what kind of skills will be used in this century in order to make them more competent in the labor force, in the workplaces,
yeah.
but also to make them more educated with soft skills. So we're using the called the four C's, which is our four competencies with C letters like critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration. And all these kind of skills have been integrated in the machine learning pipelines so that the learning analytics figures and replies of augmented solution are based on these four C's and the overall also pedagogical framework of creative pedagogy that is mostly handled by University of Côte d'Azur in France,
Hmm.
uh, coming out from Work Package 4. So you see, Miguel, it's not just a short chat. There is between the learner, the educator, and the solution, the machine, but it's a very sophisticated system that we have that has been embedded with cutting-edge pedagogy guidelines as well as with intelligent methodologies. And by having this kind of technological dimension, we're trying to provide tailor-made and customized recommendations with explanations to the users.
Okay. Okay, so in the end, it's hard work, and I think, and it's good that we have the four pilots, so the augmented solution can be tested in with different data of different people of different goals, but in the end, it has this common goal of helping to analyze the learning management systems and try to make more education more personalized and more adapted to everyone.
Exactly, exactly. And here is where innovation comes, meaning that augmentor project is just for the consortium and for most of the partners a first step to the market, given that European Commission funds an R&D project that we are been collaborating as a consortium in order to enhance the technological readiness level of an ed tech solution. We have the opportunity to demonstrate this innovation in diverse educational environments from different educational levels. I told before, primary schools, high schools, tertiary education, as well as vocational.
Okay, so sorry, Dimitris, you were talking, well, we were talking about how the mentor solution in the end will be try to be inclusive for everyone, but at the same time to have a goal that is to personalize education by this augmented solution. Now I wanted to ask you also, because I think the augmented solution was tested in the last plenary meeting in Ireland, and I would like to know if all the software is developed or they're still missing some technical stuff to do in the augmented solution.
Yes, of course. The past few months, there was a first release of Augmentor solution, and it's currently being demonstrated and validated through the first pilot round with the pilot partners. So this first release included the features of the interaction between the educator and the solution. The following months, a second release will be launched with features including as well as the engagement metrics and all the interfaces, the interface for the learners to interact with the solution. And the final release will come at month 33, including also the policy making component that will have some features for policymakers that will present some aggregated statistics and figures that will support policymakers to make decisions on educational policies and evaluate an educational environment with specific metrics. So it's a complex educational system that provides learning analytics features for different levels of users, the learner, the educator, and the policymaker. European Commission funds such an innovation with applying cutting-edge technologies from artificial intelligence and machine learning domains in order to increase the technological readiness level of such innovations. And Augmentor, for most of the partners and mostly for the commercial partners like Unisystems and Novelcore, is a vehicle to the market in order that we validate and demonstrate the innovation in real life environments, educational environments. And after the end of the project, we'll try to look for additional funding in order to further increase the technological readiness level of our technologies and try gradually to launch it as a final product that will follow probably a business model of an add-on component to current learning management systems, so that will be standardized and being compatible with most of the leading LMSs around the world.
Hmm.
And what we need now is data in order to validate and further fine-tuned our algorithms and ML pipelines so that the recommendations and explanations provided to the users will be sophisticated, tailor-made, and really support all the classroom orchestration and the decisions and the daily routine of an educator and of a learner. Also, augMENTOR solution has some features like enriching the curricula of the classes that are being managed by an LMS. The first step of our technological development was to create and sketch, design an ontology. So we have two ontologies out of our work plan, one for Moodle and one for TryHackMe. And after the ontology creation, we deployed knowledge graphs for each of our pilot users. And on these knowledge graphs, we apply the machine learning pipelines in order to deploy recommendations and explanations based on the queries asked from the users. So for augMENTOR solution, it's very interesting and prominent to have a business model in order to see how we are going to launch augMENTOR solution as a service to many target groups. One target group could be the academic institutions, schools and universities. Another target group could be educational policies organizations like ministries of education, as well as ed tech companies, meaning that our technologies are open source, so we can explore synergies with ed tech companies and in Europe and overseas, in order that we gradually find our pathway to the market. And also there is an idea that as a complementary measure of the technology, to have our pedagogical partners and educational organizations to provide educational consulting services of how augMENTOR solution can be mostly better integrated and used in various and diverse educational settings. So it's not only a technological solution that stems out of the project, but also educational consulting services that can reinforce the performance and the success of augMENTOR solution introduction to our target groups.
So different businesses have to be created for the different stakeholders then, right? Like to the educators, institutions, and policymakers, different business strategies will be implemented in order to properly reach the augmented solutions to the market.
Exactly. That's why a final deliverable, apart from the solution itself, is also training and work methodologies of augMENTOR solution, so that that can be applied in diverse educational settings. And what is very important for us is to increase the pilot trials communities of us. So the post phase of augMENTOR solution is to find new educational pilot users, so that we increase our experiences from real life environments, in order that we will be in 1 year and a half, 2 years from now, in a position that we can launch successfully a product to the market.
Nice. And one question, Dimitris. Maybe it's out of your topic, but I was also wondering, because in the end, with this system, we are collecting data from different people, and they can also be people that are under 18 years old. So when we are handling data that is not ours and it's from minors, What ethical measurements do you think the Mentor project is considering in order
Yeah,
to data management?
European Commission is very sensitive with all the ethical dimension uh, and for the use of artificial intelligence and mostly with what has to do with minors.
Hmm.
To this end, there is in the work plan a dedicated work package on ethics for augMENTOR solution. So we have specific procedures that we follow, that we validate the ethical dimension of ed tech. Also, we are taking under consideration the AA Act that has been introduced to European Union the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
And the European Commission reviews all the ethical dimensions of augmented solution in a very close way. That's why we follow specific guidelines, specific procedures. There are questionnaires, there are disclaimers, there are a lot of, let's say, legal documentation that we have to go through in order to safeguard that all the users of augmented solution are following specific ethical guidelines that has also to do with sensitive information,
Yeah.
with the data framework, and of course not to have any harmful consequences to our users.
Okay, nice. Thank you for your answer. And before going to the last part of the interview, Dimitris, is there something else you would like to highlight that I didn't ask you that you would like to remark about the Augmented project? Or do you think you are fine with all the things you said that they were a lot of things that really help us to understand better the technical side?
In such complex R&D projects that there are many partners coming from different countries, from different academic and technological backgrounds. There are always challenges that have to be tackled in order that we try to speak the same language. Up to now, it's a wonderful journey, given that we have traveled in many countries, we have been collaborating closely with many partners all around Europe. Of course, there were bottlenecks and many small crises that we had to overcome. But when you are open-minded and you are dedicated to your work and to your expertise, we always find solutions of how to co-create a pathway in order that we create a product and services that are valuable to our communities and stakeholders. That's what makes sense at the end. And also have a good time and being always happy to collaborate with our partners and stakeholders.
Yeah, yeah, that in the end is not only like the solution itself, it's also the process and all the experiences you had and the things you learned from the diversity we have in the group because in the end we're many countries and each one has given something different, which I think is really cool. So now,
Exactly.
yeah, for the last part, Dimitris, I'm going to ask you quick questions and you should answer with one word or one sentence. Okay, so you don't really
Great.
need to think, just try to be fast and let's see what we get. Okay, I will
Okay.
start. So first, how would you explain AI to someone outside the technology field?
Difficult question in one sentence.
Yes.
Um, let's say it's the heyday of technology and human social experience.
Okay. Nice. A second one. What's the biggest advantage that the students will get when incorporating augmented use in classrooms?
a personal assistant that will support them in their daily routine of studying.
Okay, perfect. Which advice will you give to the teachers that are hesitant about using AI and new technologies in classrooms?
We try to prove that technology is a valuable tool, but always the user has to trust her guts and also, let's say, be trustworthy of what technology comes to her screen,
Hmm.
but always have in mind that it's a machine and not a human being that you are interacting with.
Okay. Now, what's the best part of working in the augMENTOR team?
Experiencing with diverse cultures, people, concepts, and technologies.
Perfect. Okay, now relating to this one, augMENTOR is composed of 13 partners from 10 different countries. After working in such a multidisciplinary environment, what key characteristics do you think a good team should have?
Team bonding and team spirit, sound expertise, and let's say to be always having a positive way of thinking and trying to collaborate with your peers with an open-minded and kind-hearted behavior.
Okay, beautiful. All right. And now, what industries other than education do you see AI impacting the most? Like which other fields except from education do you think AI will impact a lot?
I think that of what I have also been reading and studying regarding AI and this kind of technologies, it's really amazing what AI can do in biology, in medical disciplines, and human-centric sciences. Mostly what has to do with image recognition and with all counter cancer treatments. This is including all the health sciences. It's also important given all this social media hype and the digitization of everyday life. AI and related technologies can support all the ways of interacting between the citizen with the government in all levels, local, regional, national, in
Hmm.
order to make life easier and win all this bureaucratic burden that in Europe we have to tackle. In Novelcore, we are developing technologies that has to do with e-democracy and deliberation. And we are in the process of launching related products with deliberation platforms and for supporting and motivating citizens to start and being active in all decision making on civic society. Um,
Okay, I think
and,
well,
but
yeah, yeah.
always we have to take under consideration all the ethic guidelines and have technology and intelligent machines to be with the human side and
Okay,
not make robots our governors.
okay, nice. And now, last question with one sentence. What inspires you to work with innovation technologies?
Excuse me, can you repeat your
Yes.
question?
What inspires you to work with innovation technology? Why do you think you like to work with innovation technologies?
Well, it's an era of technology. We are now having the digital revolution in contemporary societies, which is really something really inspiring and interesting. However, we always have to have in our minds that we are human beings with sentiments, with our own natural intelligence, and we have to see all these technologies coming from everywhere as tools to enhance our life quality and not to be something that we are going to serve. So technology is not, it has to be a servant of
Hmm.
human race and not vice versa.
Okay, so I think this has been everything. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dimitris, and sharing all your
Miguel, you are
insights.
wonderful, a wonderful journalist. I really enjoyed the time and before for preparing this podcast, and hope we see you each other soon, having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee together.
Yes, yes, next time. Okay, yeah. Thank you for joining. To our listeners, stay tuned for the next episodes where we will continue exploring the impact of AI in education and what augMENTOR is finally doing. So this is Miguel from SciCo and Dimitris from Novelcore, and see you soon.